Hello, it's Saturday the 6th of May. This is your Birmingham News Weekend magazine. It's the weekend, so I'm here with you for the next hour or so to take a look at what's going on around Birmingham, the West Midlands and beyond. Oh yes, welcome to the Birmingham News Weekend magazine. Coming up on today's show, we'll be seeing what's up on this week's community notice board. Carl Jones will be bringing us his weekend business update. We'll also remind ourselves what's been going on around our area too. Then later on, Carl will be back with the film charts. Our intrepid reporters Steve Green and Jason Forrest will be joining us with some more interesting guests. Norman Bartlam will tell us what's so special about this month, and then Johnny Doom will share his pick of the gigs. So it's all within the pages of the Weekend magazine. So then, time to turn to the community notice board, and this is the news that you sent to us. If there's something we could mention on here, then do get in touch, but as always, give us plenty of notice and we'll give you those all-important contact details in a few minutes. Now, a display of 1,200 beautiful handmade ceramic flowers made as part of a Sandwell Arts project has been picked for a top gardening show. Yeah, organisers of the Royal Horticultural Society Malvern Spring Show want to feature the Creative Arts Ceramic Garden at this year's festival from the 11th to the 14th of May. Now, it's already won a top award from the Royal Horticultural Society's Britain in Bloom award for the It's Your Neighbourhood category, and the project got a level 3 award. Quite impressive. Now, Sandwell Council run Creative Arts, which provides day opportunities for people with disabilities. Set the project up last year with arts organisation Creative Black Country. Now, more than 500 people from a range of community and education groups across the Black Country helped to make the magical ceramic garden, and you can see some of them going across the screen now. The Albury Centre's service users, who have a range of learning and physical disabilities, painted the glazes and put the finishing touches to the flowers ready for public display. The flowers were unveiled at Tipton Library during last July, and they've since been shown at Sandwell Arts Cafe, the Oak House Museum, Sandwell Arts Festival, RSPB Sandwell Valley, Sandwell College and the Bethel Convention Centre, also the BBC studios at the Mailbox. Now, Creative Arts produces a wide range of work all year round from their studio on Cypress Street in Albury. So good luck to them for, well done to them, I should say, for winning that award. Now, Wolverhampton will be united against dementia. It's a special event to mark National Dementia Awareness Week. It's estimated that around 3,300 adults in Wolverhampton aged 65 and over have dementia, some 1,230 men and 2,070 women, whilst approximately 60 adults between 30 and 64 have early onset dementia. Now, the free awareness event at the Bob Jones Community Hub in Blakenhall on Monday the 15th of May will highlight the support available locally to people living with dementia, as well as the help which is on hand for their families, friends and carers. Now, there'll be opportunities to meet service providers, find out about how telecare assistive technology can help people live longer in their own homes, and learn how you or your organisation can join Wolverhampton's Dementia Action Alliance. Individuals and organisations can also find out about becoming dementia friends or dementia friendly organisations, while members of the City of Wolverhampton Council's Welfare Rights team will be on hand to discuss benefit entitlements. United Against Dementia is being organised by City of Wolverhampton Council and the Alzheimer's Society. It takes place at the Bob Jones Community Hub, Bromwich Street in Blakenhall, between 10 and 1 on Monday the 15th of May. Entry is free, but you need to reserve a place in advance, and you can do that by calling 01902 55 1734. And a couple of useful websites are www.wolverhampton.gov.uk/dementia and www.alzheimers.org.uk. Now, veterans will lead the commemorations as Wolverhampton commemorates the 72nd anniversary of VE Day on Monday. They'll join civic dignitaries, including the Mayor of Wolverhampton and members of the public, to mark the anniversary of the unconditional surrender of Nazi Germany to the Allies on May the 8th, 1945. It's an event which heralded the end of the Second World War in Europe. Now, the central branch of the City of Wolverhampton Royal British Legion and the Ex-Service Council will hold a service of remembrance at the Cenotaph in St Peter's Square starting at 11:30. The service will begin with a parade of standards and veterans to the Cenotaph, followed by prayers, the Coimbra homily and exhortation, and the last post. Now, Birmingham Ability Counts League is a pan-disability football league that was formed in 2003, and on Sunday the 14th of May plays its 10,000th match. Oh yes, they cater for all ages and disabilities, from adult level Premier Elite, Premier Championship and League, and junior level under 16 and under 13. And recently, by arrangement with the FA, they announced that they now also play mixed gender teams of all ages. So if you'd like to find more about their matches, or perhaps even get involved, then you can look online. On social media, they are at BAC League, and the website is www.birminghamabilitycountsleague.co.uk. Now, next, Richard Atkinson has been in touch. Now, Richard lost his baby daughter Ava in May 2014, and he set up Baby Ava's Foundation. Now, they supply hospitals and also parents that get in touch with memory boxes following the loss of a baby. Since beginning 2 years ago, the charity has supplied over 1,000 memory boxes and raised in excess of £60,000. Cal Yafai is the charity's ambassador, and Richard tells us that Birmingham and the Midlands have the second highest ratio of baby loss in the UK. It's currently 7.3 deaths per 1,000 births, whereas the national average is 4.4. Richard also tells us about some up-and-coming events, including a charity fun day with 2 football matches, Ava's Angels versus Birmingham All-Stars, and then the other will be against a celebrity team with stars from Emmerdale, Hollyoaks and the X Factor attending. Now, that's all taking place on Sunday the 21st of May at Redditch United's Valley Stadium. So if you'd like to find out more, do have a look at www.babyavasfoundation.org, or you can call 01527 359 600. So there you go, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board. If you know about something that we could be telling people about, why don't you get in touch? But please give us about a week's notice. And you can talk to us in a number of ways. If you would like to email, then you can email news@madeinbirmingham.tv, or if social media is your thing, you can look us up and send a message at madeinbhamtv, or just use the hashtag Birmingham News. And of course, as ever, we'll have some more for you at the same time next week.
Thanks very much, Lee. Well, lots of reasons to be cheerful in the West Midlands business community this week. We've got some really optimistic stories. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. Recruitment agency and employment services provider Allegis Global Solutions is creating 100 new jobs in Birmingham by opening a new office in the city centre. It's looking for recruitment sourcing specialists, administrators, managers and recruitment coordinators. Now, AGS told the Birmingham Post it was opening in the city because of Birmingham's business credentials, talented workforce and growth potential too. Staying in Birmingham, a technology company is expanding into the Far East with the opening of a subsidiary in Taiwan. Smart Antenna Technologies, based on the University of Birmingham campus in Edgbaston, is opening a research facility in Taipei. The company currently employs 19 engineers and researchers at its Birmingham headquarters and also has a separate office in Bath. But the new Taiwanese facility will be managed from the Edgbaston base. West Midlands-based bike and car parts retailer Halfords is losing its chief executive. Jill McDonald is stepping down from the role to join Marks & Spencer. Halfords chairman Dennis Millard, sad to see her go, thanked Jill for her positive impact she's made across the business, and this is what he said. She'll leave Halfords with a strong team and a clear strategy to drive future growth. Steel Group Liberty House is to create 300 jobs and make multi-million-pound investments to secure the future of 5 plants, including one in the Black Country. Liberty has formally completed a £100 million deal to acquire the specialty steels division of Tata Steel UK, and that includes the site at Wednesbury. The deal doesn't, however, affect Tata's other sites at Wensfield, Brierley Hill and Walsall. Now, it's less than a month since German company Goering opened its new base at Aston, and Nick D caught up with the managing director to find out his thoughts on the EU negotiations. We want
a smooth Brexit, one where both parties are talking positive together, not fighting. This word that has been used, confrontational talks, we can't have any of that, because all it's doing is just prolonging this period of uncertainty, and that's only we see is going to affect investment and ultimately jobs in the UK. For Goering, for many years, we've been looking for a place to relocate and to grow. And a couple of years ago, we found this site here in Aston. Superb site, built the facility. We moved in here 2 weeks ago, and we are using this as our foundation to grow. Currently employing 80 people, but over the next 5 years, we'll be employing up to 125 people and more in the future. So it's a great opportunity for us, for the area, and for industry as a whole.
And that's it for West Midlands Business News for another week. Don't forget, if you like that and you want to know more about the local economy, to join me on a Monday night at 10 o'clock for Birmingham Business, half an hour of news and views from the local economy. And if you've got a business story you think we should be talking about, send me an email to carl.jones@madeinbirmingham.tv.
So then, time for a quick break. Carl will be back again later on in the show to take a look at this week's new films as well as the film charts. Plus, we'll be hearing from our intrepid reporter, Steve Green. And as ever, we'll be catching up with what's been happening in and around our area during the past week or so. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show with me, Lee Bannister. Time now for a look back at some of the stories we've been covering on Birmingham News. And the recent acid attack in a nightclub which injured 20 people, blinding 2, shocked the nation. Now, Olivia Marks has been investigating why such attacks appear to be on the rise and the devastating impact they have on people's lives.
Burning, shocking and damaging, both physically and mentally. Latest figures show that there were nearly 400 attacks involving noxious substances from 2014 to 2016, reported to West Midlands Police. In contrast to international statistics, which indicate that women account for around 3/4 of victims, in the UK, more men are likely to be attacked than women. That's according to a national charity. However, these figures are vague, as many cases go unrecorded. Back in 2014, Mohammed Rafiq from Smethwick, who was 80 years old at the time, paid £50 to 2 men to throw acid over his 19-year-old ex-girlfriend, Vicky Horseman, leaving her scarred. There are many other devastating cases which go as far back to the 19th century. Birmingham News spoke to one researcher from the University of Birmingham.
The numbers have really increased. We're talking about dozens, and then doubling, and now it looks like we're talking about attacks in the hundreds. And this is really a sign of something proliferating and really becoming a serious problem. Actually, if you take it back in history, and that's what I've been researching, is that there is a precedent for this in the 19th century, for example, and it's really associated with industrialization. And it's a weapon, essentially, that's readily available to people. It's an attack that's directed at their identity, who they are, and it shows you how central the face is in our conceptualization of beauty. This sort of attack is out there in literature, in our popular culture. People will find it on the internet, but I think by talking out and really addressing this, and that there are ways to challenge this.
Over the past 3 years, more than 400 people in the UK were admitted to hospital after being attacked with chemical substances. Many perpetrators go unidentified, and with chemical substances easy to get hold of, it's clear the crime is an issue which needs addressing.
Now, there's been a slight air of doom and gloom in some quarters as Britain's political and economic future is in question. But where some see cause for concern, others see the opportunity. Nick D has been to see one such business in action.
During last year's Brexit, there was speculation that a decision to leave the European Union would be followed by a downturn in business investment. However, despite challenging conditions within their industry, a West Midlands iron and steel manufacturer has just announced a major investment for its West Bromwich site.
We're at the moment looking to invest another £250,000 into the business. We've just taken on 2 apprentices, which has helped, and we're getting some funding towards them from Close Brothers, which is really good. But mainly it's maintaining the number of employees that we've got, which is around 44 at the moment. And
despite the current political uncertainty, the company feels that now is the right time for expenditure.
It really doesn't matter what's happening in the political landscape. If we don't keep investing in our businesses, they die. This business exports 65% of its output all around the world. We're the largest producer of steel, for example, for making horseshoes, enough for between 15 and 20 million sets a year. But we export everywhere from Europe to Vietnam to Australia to America. And if we don't keep investing, we lose the business.
The West Midlands we know today owes its existence to the heavy industries of the past, and with a 10-year investment plan, it would appear that this historic company will continue to play an important role in our region's future.
More than 12,000 vehicles have been seized in 12 months by West Midlands Police after drivers were caught without insurance. We spoke to the Police and Crime Commissioner, David Jamieson, about how West Midlands Police have been combating the crime.
Those people who don't insure their vehicle, firstly, are costing all of us more on our premiums. All the good, sensible people who do insure their vehicles and drive safely, those people are paying more for their insurance. And secondly, you're about 10 times more likely to crash with somebody if you're uninsured. Uninsured people are a menace. And that's why the police have the powers now to take their vehicles away from them and then, if necessary, sell them off or crush them. You know, we've got to remember that in the wrong hands, a vehicle is a lethal weapon, and people who are driving unsafely can actually kill and injure people. It's happening every day. So that's why we're cracking down on it, and that's why we're making sure that we're supporting the vast majority of good people who use the road sensibly and taking tough action against the minority who don't insure their vehicles and put people at risk.
Well, now, we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago here on the Weekend magazine, The Big Dig. It's a national campaign to get more people involved in community food growing. Now, last week in Edgbaston, a popular community garden held their own event to mark Big Dig Day, so we sent along Nick D to get stuck in.
Gardeners were given a chance to kickstart their growing year at a green-fingered event in Edgbaston last Saturday.
Today is Martineau Gardens' contribution to the Big Dig, which is a national event where people get encouraged to become part of food growing. And here at Martineau Gardens we grow some food here, and we have got a whole series of workshops here to excite people in food growing. So that includes activities for children, our vegetable expert here to talk to. You can buy compost here, and you get how to make your own wormery, so you can make wonderful worm compost if you want.
So we've been to a couple of different events here at Martineau Gardens before, and find it's a lovely little space, especially for a young family. We came to this event specifically to learn a little bit more about how to grow some of our own food.
The Martineau Gardens charity is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year with a major celebration planned for summer. So why not grow your own interest in horticulture by branching out and attending one of their future events?
Members of the social club at Tividale FC have held an event to raise funds for the club and to enable fans to recall the events of 24 years ago, where West Bromwich Albion won promotion to the then First Division by winning the playoff final at Wembley. Our reporter Norma Bartlam, who was at Wembley that day, joined in with their weekend celebrations.
200 Baggies fans packed into Tividale FC Social Club to raise funds for the club and to pay homage to their former Baggies heroes Darren Bradley, Ian Hamilton and Bob Taylor. All were key members of West Bromwich Albion's promotion-winning team that thrashed Port Vale at Wembley in the playoff final nearly a quarter of a century ago.
The occasion at Wembley was amazing. We were probably 6-1. I think it was God knows how many Albion fans, and it was an amazing atmosphere as well. And I think on the day it's just a result. You just want to make sure that you get the result you want and get the Albion up, which we did.
Fans and players alike still have great admiration for manager Ozzy Ardiles, even if he did immediately jump ship and go to Tottenham.
But you never ever begrudge Ozzy for doing what he wanted to do, but he always regrets, and he always says this, he regrets leaving the Albion to go to Tottenham.
Unlike Ozzy Ardiles, Bob Taylor has stayed in the West Midlands.
I'm born and bred Black Country now.
Within the current state of Premiership football with controlled soundbite interviews, it's clear that these set of players have not only played a great part in local footballing history, but are perhaps the last of the breed that are allowed to mix and talk with fans at venues such as this.
Now, pupils from Adderley Primary School in Birmingham won the opportunity to spend the morning with a Paralympic athlete ahead of the World Para-Athletic Championships in London this summer. Ben Rowlings, who trains in Coventry, competes in sprint and middle distance events in the T34 classification. Olivia Marks has more.
This wasn't their typical assembly at Adderley Primary School in Birmingham, as pupils welcomed Paralympian and four-time European medalist Ben Rowlings, who will be competing in the World Para-Athletics Championships in London this summer. And mascot Wisby the Bee also made an appearance.
If I can inspire one person out of that group to go and start a sport and just to keep healthy, then I've done my job, and that's better. So the more of these talks I can do, the better. And yeah, they're good fun. Some of the questions were a little bit quirky and a little bit different. So it's always a good fun coming and talking to schools and doing that kind of thing. Without sport, I wouldn't be who I am. So it helped me. So if I can help one person like that get into sport, then I'm doing my job.
The school won the visit by being one of the first of 500 schools to sign up to the Starting Blocks education programme, designed to engage and motivate young people. And going by the pupils' gasps and excitement, they were indeed inspired by Ben's achievements.
It was really good, and I was inspired by Ben because he had to face a lot of challenges in his life, but he was still determined to win.
So I like the determination and passion that he's taught me.
I feel that whatever you have with your body, you can still go for gold.
What's your favourite race?
Pupils were able to ask Ben questions and show off their sports skills in a PE session which he helped lead.
It's fantastic. I mean, our children, what we give to our children is the aspirations for them we inspire them to have aspirations, and this is just one way that we've done this. The children have absolutely loved every second of it, especially with the mascot coming into school, so it really is child friendly, and all of our children have just enjoyed this experience.
The opportunity proved to be a school day to be remembered, and as 45 Adelaide school pupils will be attending the championships in London, Ben's promised to give them the welcome they gave him. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
Welcome back to the programme with me, Lee Bannister. Now, Carl Jones will be back again shortly for his regular weekend look at the silver screen. But right now, community groups all over the Midlands are digging for victory in this year's Britain in Bloom competition. But for many volunteers, the work goes on all year round. Steve Green decided to do a little digging himself to unearth how local pride is blossoming in South Birmingham.
I'm here with Fran Lee, who is the coordinator of Cox Green Village in Bloom, at the corner of Woodcock Lane at the very edge of Cox Green. Fran, tell me about the work you do here.
Well, basically this piece of land was a derelict piece of land which the council maybe mowed, and they gave it over to us about 5 years ago, and we created all these beds. First of all, we put in lots of perennials, and we put some annuals in, but we also created a beautiful wildflower meadow effect really amongst the grass. And since then, everybody says how beautiful it looks, and people come and take photographs, and it's the most popular feature of Cox Green.
It's really amazing.
Yes.
I mean, the organisation's only been going, 5 years?
Yes, since 2012.
And you've done an awful lot of work in that period.
Yes.
Much of it, unfortunately, is not immediately visible from the main road as you drive through Cox Green.
No, but I mean, obviously Woodcock Lane is, and obviously we did the garden opposite here as well, which is privately owned.
That's right on the corner.
And again, people come and take photographs. But the orchard, although it's buried away, it is quite visible to the parents of the school next door. The orchard in Mallard Close opposite Sainsbury's we created in 2012. The winter was terrible. We were digging, we got great big concrete blocks out of there. We made a beautiful orchard with beautiful gravel paths, gravel supplied by local people, E.H. Smith.
And that beautiful mural at the back.
The mural at the back was created by a pupil from Archbishop Hillsley School, encouraged by the headmaster, who's now doing a degree in fine art in Leeds. And she sat there in the hot July heat, just on boards with scaffolding, painting that mural, and everybody says how beautiful it is. And again, the churchyard we do, again, it's not totally visible, but like Woodcock Lane, when you come up into Cox Green, we want people to see that Cox Green is a beautiful place with lots of lovely shops, and why don't you stop and shop here?
And just across from here, you've got a bug farm as well.
A bug hotel. It's created with the help of Cottersbrook School, and we installed that because the Royal Horticultural Society, which we're part of, we come under their umbrella for Britain in Bloom, likes to encourage gardening for wildlife. So it entails lots of bugs and beetles, and then we also have a compost heap next to it.
It's one of the 3 things they look for, isn't it? 3 things to look for with Britain in Bloom.
Yeah, they look for environment, which is recycling, which we use water from drain pipes. We've got about 6 water butts throughout Cox Green. We've also got compost heaps. One of the compost heap here on Woodcock Lane was created out of the stones off the central reservation in the village. And we thought we'd keep some heritage, basically. So we've got a posh compost heap. And we've also got compost heaps at our orchard in Mallard Close, and compost heaps at the church and by the library.
That's at St Mary's.
St Mary's Church,
which is, I must say, I was up there a little earlier, and the level of care you put into that place is quite incredible. Plus, of course, the church volunteers as well.
Yes, the church volunteers do an awful lot. But we specifically wanted to put the graves back together. They'd come apart, and lots of the masonry, the marble was around the churchyard. So we went hunting for the marble. And one of our chappies bought his winch and his pulley in, and he put lots of the graves back together again.
And particularly that one that you pointed out to me, which is the one with the angel, which you had to resurrect, basically.
That's right. We had to resurrect that one. The marble was all over the place. We had to go and find all the bits and bobs to put it all back together again. So I think we did a good job there.
It does look really nice. And currently you're working on the island in the centre of Cox Green.
Right.
A preparation for a statue that's going up.
That's right. It's again a sculpture dedicated to our work. It outlines flowers and fruit, but it also brings a little bit of heritage from Cox Green, because it shows a steam train and it shows a horse-drawn narrowboat. These are the items in the Victorian era which brought the prosperity to Cox Green. It brought a lot of the merchants out of the centre of Birmingham, who built beautiful houses, Victorian and Edwardian. So really, it's up to us to bring that heritage back in the form of this sculpture, along with the work that we do. But we also maintain the War Memorial by the library and the front of the library. We painted the outside of the library, but we also, in 2014, had the War Memorial repaved with the help of one of our councillors, Stuart Stacey, who said to me, well, you've been complaining about it, you get the bricks and I'll get the labour.
Well, thank you very much, Fran, and keep on the great work.
Thank you for taking an interest.
And Steve will be back again at the same time next week. Now it's time for some movie news. And from his daily film slot in the Lowdown, it's back over to Carl Jones.
Thanks very much, Lee. Welcome to Resorts World at the NEC in Birmingham here, where behind us at Cineworld there's lots of new movies showing at the cinema this weekend. I want to talk to you today about a couple of them. The first one is a comedy called Mindhorn, and if you remember some of the rather dodgy 1980s cops dramas, then you'll probably relate to this one. Mindhorn is the name of a fictitious crime fighter from a TV series in the 1980s, long since forgotten, and the actor who played Mindhorn has been struggling for work ever since. But he's thrown back into action when a criminal insists that Mindhorn is the only person he will negotiate with, thinking mistakenly that Mindhorn is a real detective. So it's the opportunity for the actor in question to try and strap on his costume in his own inimitable way and try and help the police out. As you can see from this trailer, it's not exactly a perfect match. Have a look at this.
Let's do this.
Save it for the take, baby.
Plenty more where that came from.
Action!
Special Agent Bruce P. Mindhorn could literally see truth. Your mouth's saying no, but your brain's saying yes. You can't hide the truth from Mindhorn.
You are exactly where you need to be.
Hello, lovely. Here for the casting, Richard Thorncroft.
I am afraid of no creature. Do you feel me?
Yeah, it was literally incredible.
No one seems to know who I am.
You've matured like a fine wine.
A man could get drunk on that wine.
Suspected serial killer Paul Melly has escaped from hospital and is on the loose.
I would only speak to Detective Mindhorn, or more people are going to die.
He thinks Mindhorn is a real detective.
Get me Mindhorn. Ahoy there!
TV cop helps real cops solve crime.
Let's save some lives.
Richard Horncroft.
Twang! Look who it is. It's Mindhorn. Look at him now. What is this?
Well, that's called living the high life.
Yeah, too many biscuits.
Hello, old friend.
Stay in character at all times.
When I go in, I go deep.
When he calls, keep him on the line.
Mindhorn makes people wait. And when they wait, they become angry. And when they're angry, they make mistakes. Yo, what's going down? Hello? Oh, Jesus. He's hung up.
More people are going to die.
We're all gonna die, get over it. Some with a bang, some with a whimper. Some with a weird wasting disease. It's truth time.
You're living in a dream world.
Can you see the truth?
Richard.
How do I look?
Like you need some help.
Too late. I walk alone.
Mindhorn made me chuckle in quite a few places. I have to say, Steve Coogan plays a cameo role in it, unsurprisingly really, because there's a very Alan Partridge feel to the main character itself. I'm going to leave you with the trailer that everybody's been talking about this week, because we've had our first glimpse of Star Wars Episode 8 with Luke Skywalker back in business. Take a look at this, and I'll see you with more movie news back on The Lowdown, 6:30 on Monday night.
Breathe. Just breathe. Now, reach out. What do you see?
Light. Darkness. A balance.
It's so much bigger. I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Thanks, Carl, and of course he'll be back next week. Time for a break, but don't go anywhere because we've got an appointment with Jason in the Milk Bar, and Norman will be seeing what's so special about this week. I shall see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the final part of today's programme with me, Lee Bannister. Now, last Sunday, you might remember the streets of Birmingham were taken over by all manner of participants in the Great Birmingham 10K Run, whether they were aiming for a personal best, to raise funds for charity, or simply to improve their health. There was a carnival atmosphere enjoyed by all, and our Nick D was on hand for Birmingham News.
Thousands of people were in Birmingham on Sunday morning for an event designed to encourage better health, fitness and a more active lifestyle.
We've got 8,000 runners of all abilities, from some of the very fastest in the world to probably some of the very slowest, to be perfectly honest, because we have a walking wave at the back, but a really great occasion, great atmosphere. I think we've got about 10 or 12 bands playing on the run as well, so a real celebration of what's all good about Birmingham.
Record numbers participated in the event for fun, to get fit, or even for charity.
We're running for specifically is orphans inside Syria. As everyone knows, there are hundreds of thousands of children that are deeply affected by the conflict. What we're hoping to do is to raise some funds so that we can provide them with medical aid, education, clothing, shelter and food, hopefully throughout the year.
I'm running with 26 other runners as part of a team today because I wanted to support the hospital that my daughter's been treated at. My daughter Rosie, who's 5 years old, was diagnosed with cancer on her 3rd birthday. She's been fighting leukemia for the last 2.5 years. This year, We've got 26 runners. We've raised £8,000 so far, and it's going up all the time. And it coincides brilliantly with the week that we found out that Rosie's in remission. She's been given the all clear this week.
Olympic medalists Brendan Foster and Kelly Sufferton were in attendance to offer their support.
Birmingham's such a great city. It is the second city, and it's a huge city, and there's a lot of people here. The city's turned out to support them, and so we're delighted.
So I'm pacemaking everybody for 60 minutes. So I have to help people go for longer. That's my aim. I did my job, just under 60. I think I helped quite a few people achieve PBs, which is what the aim was, and help people go for longer and inspire them to finish.
We had an amazing time. What we did, we got a group of inactive runners to run in their first mass participation event, and it went absolutely perfectly. They've loved it. Some are signing up for half marathon, some are going to continue running, some are going to do the full marathon. So this is what it's all about.
And with organisers planning a half and full marathon for later in the year, there is hope that Birmingham's profile will be lifted with the aim of securing the Commonwealth Games in 2026.
Right, time for a quick pick of the gigs now. Here's Johnny Doom.
Right, it's me, Johnny Doom, from your weekly rock show on Made in Birmingham channel. Yes, you can see it on Tuesdays at 10, Wednesdays 10:30 and Fridays at 10:30. And here's my weekly pick of the gigs. Napalm Death, they're coming home to Birmingham 9th of May at the O2 Institute with Brugeria and somebody else. Hawkwind, the space rock legends, they're 16th of May, that's at the O2 Institute. And Kiss, the legends, 28th of May at the Barclaycard Arena, always putting on a big show. So yeah, that's my pick of the gigs. Don't forget to watch my programme Amped, and I'll see you next week.
And Johnny will be back with Amped on Tuesdays at 10 and again on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays at 10:30. Right, let's pop to the Milk Bar now with Jason Forrest. And the Milk Bar is a place where local performers drop in and tell Jason about what they're up to. And recently Jason met up with some of the final year students from the University of Wolverhampton's musical theatre degree course to find out about their end of year show.
The final year students at the University of Wolverhampton are about to complete their musical theatre degrees, and towards the end of the year they put on a show. This year it's 9 to 5 and I have their Mr Hart and Dora Lee as well as their production manager with me. We've got Josh, Holly and Caitlin. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Right, first of all let's start off with Holly and the production manager, and obviously you've got a load of the freshest talent around about to put on a show. It must be good fun for you.
Yeah, it's great fun. Obviously.
And how do you come to choose the musical that you're going to produce at the end of all this?
I got told.
But there's obviously, when you license anything like this, there's limited availability of different shows, but you've got a good one because it's really good and upbeat, isn't it?
It is. It's a great musical.
And is it something that the rest of the cast knew about before, do you think, or has it been fresh to most of them?
We found out at the start of our third year.
So a bit of research as well along the way to get them to this point.
Yeah.
And you're actually running it with multiple casts, aren't you?
Yeah, it's double cast. So we've got cast A, which is Holly Sargent, Bryony Bradshaw, Olivia Courtney and Amy Goodall. And then you've got cast B, which is Caitlin Gallagher, Paige Hudder, Christina Rudge and Grace Wills.
So a lineup who are about to head off into the world and hopefully go for full-time acting jobs, but at the moment they've got to then get used to being on the stage, and this is a good experience for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great experience for them.
That's cool. Right, Caitlin, then tell us a bit about your Dora Lee.
Well, she's the Dolly Parton character, so she has to be, well, no pressure, but she has to be sexy, sweet. She has to sing as well, which is the biggest challenge. No, I'm joking. But.
Well, doing musical theatre, I was hoping you might be in a singing world already.
Yeah, no, we are. It's definitely I reckon it's definitely the hardest musical we've all done in our careers, our little aspiring careers. But no, it's good fun. It is good fun.
And it's good to put on the CV as well, because it is a challenging musical, and you've got to have some sass about you, and you've got to put somebody in their place.
Yes, definitely. I've got to put Mr. Hart in his face occasionally as well. Well, and Josh. But no, it is difficult, but it's actually very good to have split casts because you can bounce off each other. So my other half, as it were, is Olivia, and we just give each other notes and it works. It just works well. Yeah,
do it that way, and before you know it, you've got a big production, a great end of year piece, and something that is the culmination of your time at uni, and that in itself must be quite a daunting experience.
It is actually. It's quite emotional as well. But it's nice to show off to the audience and our parents, really, and to our tutors, what we've done in the last 3 years. So.
Okay, then on to Mr. Hart, because although Dora Lee's got to get you into your rightful place and bring you down a peg or two in the story, obviously you're not really as nasty as the man himself, are you?
Some may beg to differ, but no, I try to be as nice as I can do outside of the role, so that everyone doesn't actually think I'm that kind of guy. But I've actually really enjoyed playing someone like that, simply because it's not my kind of like who I am. So therefore, when I get into that role, I feel I can really just kind of grab hold of it and just take it as far as I can.
And when it comes down to all these roles being selected and them getting selected with production manager, actually all of you have got some understanding of all the different parts you're playing, and you're playing the part of a production manager in this. So that in itself is quite a good experience for you.
Yeah, it's challenging, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And aspirations when you all finish, I take it you would all like to be on stage at some point in your careers?
Yeah, maybe not professionally, but I think we all have a good time doing it, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, but a great degree for building confidence and getting you into the right frame of mind for anything that life throws at you.
Yeah, definitely, and I think there's this stereotype that everyone's against each other, and for our course in particular, and our class, it's definitely not the case. I mean, we still make sure we have time spending it with each other, and we'll probably get a shock when we get into the real world and everyone's mean to us, but yeah.
They're all Mr. Hearts and no
exactly.
Dora Lees.
Yeah, exactly.
But it should be a great show. Remind us of the dates.
It's at the Arena in Wolverhampton, and it's Wednesday the 10th of May, running till Saturday the 13th of May. And sorry, I have to put this out there. Okay. So Wednesday and Friday will be cast A, and Thursday and Saturday will be cast B.
So if your friends are in cast A, you know when to turn up, or cast B.
Yes.
Is cast B the one you're looking forward to?
Well, I am in cast B. So
yeah,
yes.
so that is the one to see. So Wednesday the 10th through to Saturday the 13th, and you can get along to the Arena Theatre and see what should be an absolutely excellent show. 01902 321 321, the box office number, or arena.wlv.ac.uk, the website, to get your tickets that way. But good luck to all of you. Break a leg, I should of course say, and have a great time finishing off your degree in style.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Nice, thanks Jason, and we'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. Remember, it's also on the radio and it's a podcast, so if you want to find out more, have a look at www.themilkbarpodcast.com. Right, now let's take a quirky but interesting trip back in time with everyone's favourite historian. It's our Norman Bartlam.
This month in May 1981, the largest neon Coca-Cola sign in the world at the Rotunda was switched on by newsreader Angela Rippon right next door to the 28 feet by 4 feet sized clocks. The building began life at the corner of New Street in 1961, and it was described as a concrete cord candle. It was a state-of-the-art office block, and over the next 50 years it survived many calls for it to be demolished when the bullring was being redeveloped. Finally, one of the most recognisable buildings in the country found a new lease of life when it was turned into trendy apartments. Perfect homes, it seems, for anyone who doesn't like hoovering in the corners.
And if you'd like Norman to take a look at something in history, then why not get in touch? You can email news@madeinbirmingham.tv. And so then, it's time to close the pages of the Birmingham News Weekend magazine for Saturday. Now, I'll be here at the same time tomorrow, and of course there's more news for Birmingham and the West Midlands every weekday, because Mike is here at 6 and 9 in the evenings. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow. Try a bit.